Limas from CAPS has provided us a presentation on how to deal and prevent burnout in college. She took her time to do this, so I appreciate you, Dr. Limas, for coming in. Thank you everyone for being here. I hope this helps, and yeah, enjoy.
Yeah, thank you, Caesar. Like you said, my name is Dr. Emily Limas. I currently work as a staff psychologist at CAPS. And today I'm going to be sharing with you about burnout in college. So what that means, how we can prevent it, how we can walk back from burnout when we already are burnt out, and provide you with some resources to seek help if you are burnt out. So first I'm going to start by talking about, oh yes, and if you have questions along the way, please ask them in the chat. I won't probably, I don't think I can access it as I'm presenting, but if Caesar, maybe you want to just let me know if there are any questions, please feel free to interrupt me if you do have any, but I'll leave time at the end also. Okay.
Yeah, Nellie and I will be looking over the chat. So.
Well, thank you. So here I just want to do a brief overview. I'm not going to go into depth about our services. If you do have further questions, I'd be more than happy to share. But at CAPS, we have a plethora of resources available to you. We have psychiatry. We ask that you see a counselor simultaneously if you are seeing a psychiatrist at CAPS. We offer individuals, couples, group counseling. So that's all treatment focused. And then on the other side of the screen, you'll see Tritons Flourish program, and that's all prevention focused. So that's before you get to the point where you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I really need a professional help. There are ways to make sure that you're enriching your life and living into happiness and just taking care of yourself. So we have daily drop-in workshops. We have one that I'm really excited about this quarter, and it's sleep hygiene. So how can you get better sleep? What kind of sleep habits are good? We also have a mindfulness workshop, daily drop-in workshop. So these are offered daily, and there's a new workshop every day, and then every workshop is offered every week. We have Let's Talk, where you can just drop in. And then I Flourish and Wellness Peer Educators, if you want to be involved with CAPS to help kind of share our services. So at CAPS, we have a brief and intermittent model, which means that for when we see students, we can't see students for long term. However, so that, and we don't have a session limit at CAPS per se, but it's usually brief, and we meet with students every 2 weeks or more, just depending on what the weight is during the quarter. All of our services are confidential. Our services are free to UCSD students, and we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, all quarters. And right now we're still completely online. Tritons Flourish, like I said, is prevention based, and it's just skills for well-being that you can learn. And if you want to know more about those, please feel free to visit our website. We do have crisis services available as well, and they're available 24/7. So if you find yourself in a crisis, it's different from an emergency. So if you have an emergency, please call 911, go to your nearest hospital ER. But if you are in crisis and need support, just need, you're concerned about someone, you're concerned about how you're feeling, call in the CAPS main number, and you'll be able to talk to someone both during and after business hours. This is how you make an appointment. You just call our front desk. They'll schedule you with a brief telephone assessment, and then from there, you'll be matched up with a psychologist at CAPS. And and you can be funneled into any of our different resources, just depending on what you're coming in with. All right, so now to burnout. Burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. So it occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, unable to meet constant demands. Anyone feel like that? I know that we're not in the room where you can, well, I guess you can raise hands in Zoom, but I won't be able to see it. Anyone been feeling that way? I think with added stress of COVID, I think a lot of us find ourselves in this space of, man, I'm in the same room all day, every day, and I'm feeling burnt out. So there are 12 stages to burnout. So here we start of having excessive drive or ambition. You just want to do it all and you're going after it, which isn't by itself a bad thing, right? It's good. It's motivating to have that, especially when you're going to college. But then you find yourself pushing yourself a little bit harder, maybe harder than you should, which leads to neglecting some personal care. Maybe you're pushing your studying or working on assignments later and later into the evening, and then still waking up at the same time. So you're not getting as much sleep. Sleep is suffering. You're saying, oh, I'm not working out anymore because I just don't have time for it. Suddenly all the things that are being sacrificed are the things that help keep you on a good steady path, help you continue feeling good. Also, there's displacement of conflict. So, all these things are conflicting with each other, all the things that you need to do. And so you're trying to find a way to fit everything in, which kind of leads to the second one. Eventually there gets to a point because you're so, because you're neglecting personal care, self-care, that you don't have time for anything that's not school related. And then, school activities take up most of your time and that just drains you. So there's nothing that's adding to you to get, continue giving you energy. You're just being drained. And then after that, you're in denial about, okay, no, I can keep going. It's all right. I have this endless well of energy. I can do it. I can push through. Meanwhile, just getting drained day after day. Then you start to withdraw. So maybe sometimes you will not go to a class or skip an assignment, say, oh, it'll be fine. That denial piece as well. And then, continuous behavioral changes. So you don't typically miss a class, but this time you did because you're just so exhausted, or you overslept, or, missing assignments, or not hanging out with friends because you're feeling so overwhelmed. And maybe that's not to do work, but it's just like to just chill and kind of do nothing. Maybe that just feels like all you can do. So depersonalization is the next step to that. So what I mean by that is I don't know if anyone has experienced this in their lives, so this might resonate with a few of you, but it's when you're kind of seeing yourself just kind of living and just going through the motions, but it's kind of an out of body experience where you're just kind of looking at yourself from an outside perspective. It's just that detachment of, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. I can't even be myself in this moment. I have to look at myself from an outside perspective. Then that leading to inner emptiness because you're kind of detaching from yourself a little bit. You're just like, I need to get away from this situation. I don't know how, so I'm just gonna exit in an emotional way. Then that can subsequently lead to depression at times. So maybe you're reflecting on these things, these stages, and you're wondering, oh man, where do I fit in? Am I on this timeline? Just reflecting on those things. So as I'm sure all of you have experienced at one time or another, this is what burnout feels like. Changes in appetite, low sense of achievement. Even though you're working so hard, it feels like, oh my gosh, it's not paying off. You can feel it physically too. So exhaustion, body tension. So I hold mine in my shoulders, and it's this weight. You always feel like it's just so tight. That could be oversleeping or undersleeping. Lack of productivity. It seems like you're working all the time, but you're not accomplishing anything. Has anyone ever experienced that? Difficulty concentrating, feeling bored, kind of losing interest in school when it's something that you typically really love. I mean, we're all here for a reason. Poor time management. Seems like time's just slipping away from you. And lack of confidence in what you're doing. So here are some warning signs. To give kind of a context within Zoom of burnout. So have you seen a decrease in your academic performance? Is it suffering a little bit? Are you finding that you're a little bit more irritable than is normal for you? Isolating from others, difficulty going to class, meeting deadlines for assignments, things like that. You feel like you're spread too thin, or having poor boundaries. So signing up for a lot of things to do and then like not having it very much time to do those things. Feeling apathy or detachment. So kind of going back to that depersonalization that we were talking about. So on to the more optimistic part of the presentation, which is how we prevent burnout. So as you can see in this graphic, exercise, eat a balanced diet, good sleep, and asking for help. So what I want you to remember is that you can't go wrong with just self-care tenets, like the basic needs, what we're going after. So eating a balanced diet, like I said, making sure you're moving your body, getting good sleep, drinking enough water, making sure that you're emotionally fit. So if you don't feel like you're emotionally in a good spot, going and seeking help. These are the first things to think about and consider. If you're starting to feel a little dysregulated or off. So knowing yourself and your needs and communicating those needs, have your support system keep you accountable. Make sure, another basic need is making sure that you're in contact with people who support you, who are there for you. Staying grounded. Gratefulness is a really important thing too. So there's a lot of research in positive psychology that has shown that writing down, so this simple act of writing down 3 things that you're grateful for every day can increase your mood. Just that. Isn't that incredible? So if you find that, it's hard to wake up every day, maybe try implementing that system. 3 things that you're grateful for every day and see how you feel different. Self-care includes both emotional and physical work, like we've talked about. Setting boundaries on your space and time. So if you have that one roommate who loves to hang out, and you enjoy talking with them, but sometimes they come in and you're trying to get stuff done and you're really stressed, but you don't know how to tell them, and you're feeling really stressed, but you don't want to make them feel bad. Setting those boundaries, communicating that in a healthy way. Hey, maybe we can, when my door's open, it's great that you come in and we can chat, but if it's closed, I really need that time to focus. And then contact available resources, family, friends, mindfulness apps, come to CAPS. So Burnout Recovery, there is a way back if you're already feeling burnt out. So you want to remove the stressor. So sometimes it means taking a quarter off. Sometimes it means taking a class off. Removing that thing that is making you feel burnt out. Sometimes that is what it takes. And then you reflect. What triggers me to feel burnt out? Is it the same? Is it this class in particular? Or is it, stresses on my time, or what is it in particular? Find out how you respond to that stress. Well, is it taking out all my basic needs? Do I sacrifice those things in response? And what are some healthier ways to cope with my stress as it comes along? Well, instead of oversleeping or sleeping in, I can wake up and do some meditation, some deep breathing, maybe some yoga, and that can help me start my day. and cope with the things that I have to do for the rest of that day. So revising your psychological contract with yourself as you're engaging in classes and things like that is really important by, you know, reflecting. So post-burnout growth starts with reevaluating your relationship with school. So considering what are you willing to give to school? What time, what resources, all of that. What is it that you're willing to give? So I think we have this expectation. I have to give everything 100% all the time in order to get an A. So what if you don't need an A? Like what if you just like what is passing for you? Like what is the ticket for you on a specific assignment too? Like maybe you want to get maybe you're okay with getting a B in the class. So what does that take? What is the energy that you want to invest in these specific things? Also, what do you expect to receive? So is it okay if I get a B on this assignment because I have other things going on that I feel really stressed about? Is it worth my mental health to like get an A on this, but totally have like a, feeling empty and maybe approach depression? So considering those things, really weighing those things, and then develop a revised contract for what that relationship with school looks like. So as I'm harping on this because it's a big deal, the solution to burnout is taking care of yourself, and don't sacrifice these things that you need. That include exercise, eating well, drinking enough water, sleeping well, and having social contact. Those are the things that will protect you. So taking care of yourself, self-care is something that I've been talking about, and it's defined as practice of taking an active role in protecting your own well-being and happiness during periods of high stress. So this can include enjoyable activities, supportive community, mental stimulation, healthy lifestyle, creative expression, and personal relationships. So these are just a handful of activities that you can engage in to encourage self-care. Some of them are distracting, some of them are soothing, and I would say try some of these out to see what fits good where. So if you feel like you're getting really stressed out on this one assignment and it's just taking all of you, maybe taking some deep breaths to soothe yourself and as like a timeout and then jumping back in, maybe that's what you need, because maybe going and watching TV and distracting yourself, when you come back, you still feel the same. So I'm saying kind of do some experimentation to see what you might need in certain moments to get a better idea of how to self-soothe and take care of yourself in stressful times, because you will experience stress. But it doesn't mean that you're helpless and that you don't have activities that you can do to reduce that stress and to overcome it. And so these are some great options. I'm more than happy to share the slideshow in case you want this for reference. So other things, implement 1 or 2 self-care strategies to help ease your stress. These are proactive things that you have control over. So just reminding yourself of that, like I just said, you are not a victim to your stress. There's something you can do. So again, eating healthy meals, hydrate often. I'm really driving this home just because it's important. Another thing is buddy up with someone to keep you accountable and to reduce the mundane. Someone you can like study with, who will, if you get distracted, be like, hey, refocus. Stepping outside for sunshine. It's so important. We get energy from being out in the sun. So taking a walk, exploring a new place in your neighborhood, doing something that just allows you to get some sun on your skin is going to be it's going to be a game changer. It's going to be very refreshing. practice deep inhaling, exhaling of your stress and inhaling fresh air. So doing deep breathing and just visualizing fresh air coming in, stress leaving your body, and just doing that, visualizing that. Communicating with friends and family regularly to make sure that you're in contact. People are, you're having that connection. You know that people love you and are checking up on you. You're doing the same with other people. Can really help after a really long, exhausting day. It's normal to feel drained. And stress. Those are very typical things to encounter as a college student. But prioritizing sleep will help you get refreshed so the next day you have energy to do everything you need to do the next day. And then limiting exposure to social media, news, things that you know might trigger stress responses for you or make you feel bad, just limiting that. And then also keeping your goals. So if you're wanting to make some goals related to your self-care, these are some ways. So make them SMART goals. And what I mean by that is make them specific. Don't just say, oh, I want to work, I want to lose weight. Or, I mean, that is specific, but make it more specific. If you want to work out and be healthier, make it a specific goal. I want to work out starting out 1 day a week for 30 minutes, and I'm going to do this specific, I'm going to do yoga, and I'm going to find, a video on YouTube. Make it specific. Measurable. So are you able to measure your progress? So if you're saying, I'm going to do 1 day a week for 30 minutes, are you doing that? That's measurable. Achievable, make it achievable. So that's why I said 1 day for 30 minutes, because and I didn't say every day, 1 hour a day, because maybe that's not realistic for someone who's not working out right now. And make it relevant to where you are in life, relevant to what your values are, what your goals are, and create a specific time frame. So in 6 months, maybe I want to be to this goal weight and I want to feel this this way. I want to be really healthy. I want to make sure that I incorporate water. I'm drinking water in my diet and eating healthy in addition to working out. And then by this time I want to be this goal weight, or this just have it be typed down. All right, so I want to be mindful of time. So before, I'm not sure if we have time to do this exercise, but I do want to ask, since we have some time left, I know that I sped through that, so I want to encourage you to please log on to the CAPS at ucsd.edu to complete a survey for this outreach, if you don't mind. And it's a presentation by CAPS staff. The presentation is Preventing Burnout, and just select my name. It would be really helpful if you could do that. And then while you're doing that, if anyone has any questions, this is the time to present them.
Dr. Limas,
Yes.
how is CAPS doing with responding to making appointments for the 15-minute session?
So that's a great question. We actually, our wait times are, I guess, the lowest that they've been in a while. So we are making sure to get students in as soon as possible. I think, I don't know the wait time offhand. I apologize right now, but it's definitely within a week or two to get an appointment. And usually, like before pandemic and everything, it used to be like a month or more out. So I'm very confident in saying most appointments you can call and get within a week, which is really great.
Dr. Loomis, are you aware of any books that can help with better strategizing, like how to deal with burnout?
Books, you said, to deal with
Yes.
burnout?
Yeah.
I don't know of any books per se that
Any wellness books that you know about?
wellness books. The resources that I use mostly are definitely like more presentation focused, wellness. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about a whole bunch of counseling books that aren't specifically for what is it? I can't think of one on the spot, but let me think about that, and I will get back to you about a wellness book. There have to be wellness books out there, though. I mean, if you just, I could just Google one right now, but I wouldn't be able to recommend that if I didn't know one off the top of my head. But
Go ahead, Catherine.
Hi. I want to ask, when you make the appointment, does it tell you with who you will have it with, or like beforehand, or is it until like once you have the appointment?
Yeah, thanks, Catherine. That's a great question. So what you make the appointment with someone who you have the phone screening with. So during that conversation, they'll ask if you have any preferences for anyone, and then you can, say those there, and they'll be able to narrow their search for you. But yes, at that point, they will look and schedule the appointment for you, and then they'll tell you who you'll be meeting with. And then you can look up, we all have bios on our CAPS website. So if you do like UCSD CAPS staff, it'll come up, and you can read about different people. So you can also request people, which I highly recommend. If you read someone's bio and you're like, hey, I really like that person, or I like the way they look, or whatever, you can definitely request people. So does that, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, that helped. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Yeah, Brianna, I just saw your comment. You like books. I have a hard time, as a psychologist, prescribing books for my clients, because that's what you do day in, day out, is that you read books, take in information in that way. And so if I can find a different way to deliver it, I try my best to do that. So maybe a worksheet or something like that. But yes, I will research that, and then I will get some good recommendations for you all.
I have another question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Would you suggest that if we were feeling like these kind of, I guess, like close, like anything that's related to burnout, what you mentioned, like this, those signs of burnout, would you recommend that we would like talk to our professors about it and like describe it this way? Or because like sometimes I have a hard time, even for myself, like admitting to that like I'm going through these things, and then like not just letting it like slide by and not really telling my professor, because I don't really know how to describe it to them, I guess you can say.
Yeah, I would definitely communicate about that, especially if you're struggling to meet deadlines for a site, like it's impacting you or impacting your performance, and impacting your health and emotionally and physically. So yes, I would encourage all of you, if you are experiencing these symptoms, to reach out, communicate with your professors, seek services at CAPS to have someone to talk to. Also, you can reach out to your Dean of Student Affairs and to just like help you. Maybe you don't know what services or resources that you might need to feel supported, but asking the question and starting that journey, I guarantee you will feel relief when you kind of just like unload this load that you're kind of holding all on your own, to just have other people be aware and understand. Another thing I just glanced briefly and saw the chat. If you find yourself getting distracted, there are apps that you can download like on your laptop that won't let you go to like certain sites. If you need that accountability in that way, maybe try exploring that. I think, being mindful of, do you have your phone right next to you while you're trying to work on an assignment? Every time it goes off, you look at it. Putting your phone on silent or putting your phone in a drawer until you're done. Maybe try to be thoughtful about what the things in the environment that are distracting you, and then try to be creative it's a great strategy. Give your phone to someone else to hold when you're just like, okay, I can't deal with this right now. Those are great strategies. Yeah. Phone to your roommates. That's great too. Any other questions? Got some great questions. I'm sorry to hear that so many people have been feeling this way.
I think that's why I wanted to have this.
Yeah. It's important. It's important that we talk about it, and it's important that you share about it and don't feel that you're alone. I mean, look, you're not alone, and there are things that you can do.
Dr. Lemus, I know you said you probably don't have time, but maybe we could try the movement exercise if we have the time.
I have maybe a minute or two more. If
Okay. We'll just wait out for questions then.
Yeah. Any other last questions?
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you, Dr. Lemus. Thank you, everyone, for showing up.
Yeah,
This
of
helps.
course. Yeah, thank you everyone for being present. And let me know. Let me know if there are other things maybe that you're requesting that you want to know more about. Yeah, we're always here for you. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Take care, everyone. Reach out if you're feeling burnt out. Do it.